Hey, what's going on, y'all? We are back. We are back with another playoff preview video. I have an announcement to make about series recap. I actually have an intro created for these podcast episodes that I'm going to be doing for the playoffs. I want y'all to check this out, and then we're gonna get right to the video. Check this out, man. Man, we gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about the Lakers and the Rockets, bruh. So obviously, as y'all know, the Lakers won their game on Sunday night, which puts them at 53 and 29. But unfortunately, well, actually, fortunately for us, because we would have had to face the Minnesota Timberwolves, and that was a manslaughter waiting to happen, like it was last year. But Denver won their game on Sunday also against the San Antonio Spurs, and that put them at 54 and 28, which is qualifying them for the third seed, and they're gonna face the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I will do a playoff preview vid of that series as well because I can already tell you that it is going to be a barn burner. It's going to be basketball warfare, and it's going to be a really good 7 game series. But I'm not going to talk about that. I want to talk about this Lakers Rockets series because obviously we know a lot of storylines coming into the playoffs with these two teams. Ime Udoka and the Rockets have turned a corner after everyone thought the Houston Rockets were cooked, especially when they lost. I don't want to say lost a lot of games, but I think when they lost against the Lakers, a lot of people are saying that, this team is low key imploding, KD and the burner thing, which it still could be true. I mean, that could unfold in and of itself during the playoffs, maybe just not this round. But I feel like, when it comes to the Rockets, they have been playing better. But at the same time, we played great in the month of March. But unfortunately, the other storyline is Luka Doncic tears his hamstring, but thankfully it's a grade 2 strain. And currently, as we speak, he is in Europe getting treatment, or I think he's still in Europe getting treatment. And we've gotten a lot of good updates up until this point because I saw a post from ESPN's Dave McMiniman talking about the update of both Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, who Austin's injury is a grade 2 oblique strain, which is also going to keep him out indefinitely. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be on the shoulders of LeBron James to at least hold serve in home court for at least one of the 2 games. You know what I mean? But we'll get to that when we get to that. So a lot of storylines, and then obviously the most iconic storyline: LeBron James and Kevin Durant squaring off potentially for the final time in their illustrious careers, because obviously LeBron's 41, KD's going to be approaching 40, and there's no guarantee that we're going to see these two face off against each other in the playoffs uh, after this year. You know what I'm saying? But never mind all that. I just want to get to this really important piece of news. So I'm reading it off of ESPN right now. I don't know if y'all can see on my screen. It's probably going to appear backwards. But it says Doncic and Reeves out indefinitely. JJ Redick, the head coach, he said he will not have an update this week on the injury status of Luka and Austin Reeves. So it is obviously a dire situation because, look, man, we do not have our 2 big guns and obviously our most valuable player, because a lot of people are saying that Luka should be the MVP over SGA, over a guy like Jokic, and everyone's giving like reasons why. I love the 65 game rule, but I feel like, the way they kind of measure out the minutes is kind of like it's really confusing to me because Wemby played. There's like a stat that said Wemby played 64 games. Luka and Ant played 64 games and they're DQ, but Victor Wembanyama is still qualified. I don't know what's going on there. I do like the rule, but I do wish there is some transparency to that rule. I already have my video made about the 65 game rule. Y'all can check that out for yourself. I may link it at the end of this video or podcast episode, whatever. But this is not an official podcast episode because it's not series recap. Series recap, as y'all know, it's basically my overall take on the playoffs for both teams. What a team will do in the offseason and what a team will do against another team that they face in the second round, conference finals, NBA finals, whatever. But it'll be more full length than this. This one's probably going to be a lot more edited because of the fact that, I'm just doing this on camera. But I'm going on side tangents, bro. But with everything in line for us, this ain't a pretty situation for LA, but I do believe that we can get at least one of these two games. We, the Lakers, because I'm a Laker fan. But the thing about it is, bro, is that if we fall down 0-2 going down to Houston or going down to H-Town, that ain't good for us. That's a ball on our season. Put a ball on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the series is over if we lose the first two games at home. And without Luca and Reeves, LeBron James is going to have to be at least 2020 LeBron, not even 2018 LeBron, be at least 2020 LeBron for at least one game, because obviously he doesn't have the luxury of an Anthony Davis. He's not gonna have the luxury of an Austin Reeves. He doesn't even have the luxury of a Dennis Schroeder. And our 2020 roster could fare well without players like that. We don't have that roster currently. Our 2020 roster, we had Danny Green, KCP, Avery Bradley, JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. We had such a deep, solid team, and Rondo too. We had a deep, solid team. This year, it's the polar opposite. Not saying our team is not solid, but we are not as deep as we were back then. So we can at least, if LeBron can at least be what he was in the bubble, or actually I shouldn't count that because a lot of people are gonna say, well, what do you mean? If LeBron just at least plays like vintage LeBron James, why the hell's my camera going up? Why the hell's my camera going up? All right. I don't know what the hell that was. But if LeBron can give me 35, 10, and 8, and you have Rui Hachimura step up, he hit some big shots. Okay, my dad was calling, so I had to stop recording right there. But if you have LeBron get at least give me 35, 35, 10, and 8, Rui Hachimura steps up, gives me at least 15 points. Luke Kennard gives me some good timely buckets. I don't know if Smart is still hurt because Marcus Smart, he might be the driving force, or he might be the difference maker without Luca and Reeves. And apparently, from what I'm hearing, he's going to play at least in game one, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to need him to be that defensive coordinator on the court. You know what I'm saying? And then DeAndre Ayton, bro, I'm so sick and tired of that guy, but he's on my team. We are going to need him for the playoffs. DA cannot go ghost against Clint Capella because I know y'all remember that rant of him saying, "Oh, I ain't no Clint Capella or whatever the heck." Now now you're facing Clint Capella, and he's going to have something to show you. So if you're DeAndre Ayton, you cannot let Clint Capella bully you, especially on the glass. You cannot let him get position on you in the paint. You cannot let him beat you to the spot in the dunker spot. DA has to assert himself, which yes, he is capable of doing, but he doesn't do it often, and he doesn't do it enough. And more often than not, that dude is soft as hell. You know what I'm saying? So that is my personal take on what it could look like for the Lakers going into the first round series, which will take place on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Our game one will be Saturday, I believe, on ABC. But another thing too, is that say Luca does return, and I know Dreamers Pro actually had a video talking about Luca's injury update, and I remember leaving a comment on there saying, and I obviously made a comment, or not a comment, I obviously made this point in one of my other Laker videos that talked about Luca's injury. I did say that a cautionary tale would be someone like Tyrese Halliburton. Remember, Tyrese Halliburton probably had like the same treatments, maybe not in Europe, but probably by the Pacers medical staff and all that. He probably got those peptides. He probably got those cortisol shots. Great. And he looked okay in game six, and he looked like he was more than ready to go in game seven. But when push came to shove, the thing wore off. You know what I'm saying? And but by the way, I forgot to mention Tyrese had a calf strain in game five of those finals. And then when push came to shove, his Achilles tore. Like he tore his Achilles in game seven of the finals. And obviously, even though Luca, like I said in that video, even though Luca's injury is not calf related or Achilles related, he could definitely do more damage to his hamstring It could be a grade three, which is like this most which is like the most severe one, and he's going to have to sit out for the whole entire year next season, and that's going to jeopardize us because we are supposed to invest in a 26-year-old star that's not in his prime. And obviously, a lot of people are saying, well, Cooper Flag is better because he doesn't do this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Whatever. I don't believe that at all because Luca is like he's 25, 26 years old. He still has a lot of time to grow. Yes, he has to grow out of a lot of bad habits like complaining to the officials when there's a live ball turnover. You know what I mean? And he gets teed up a lot too, which also does annoy me because it's free points for the other team with the clock stopping, but whatever. I'm not going to make a fuss about that at all. But one thing we need to do for sure is to be better defensively too. I know in the month of March we've looked like a better defensive team, but I feel like we need to play playoff caliber defense, especially against a guy like Kevin Durant, especially against guys like Şengün. It make Amin Thompson and Jabari Smith Jr. beat us, which they are capable, but I'd like my chances with them over KD and over Şengün. So if they could at least make those guys be the reason they beat us, then it's like shoot, man, we did our job. But going back to Luca, man, I don't know why I keep going all over the place. But no, seriously, going back to Luca though, the biggest thing about his injury is that you do not want to rush him back. And I know it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't, because you need Luca for this playoff run if you want to make any sense of noise at all, which from the outlooks of it, it doesn't look like they're going to make noise, but you never know because it is the playoffs. That's why we have the games. That's why we have to play them. But when it comes to that, you do not want to put him in a position where he tears his hamstring even more. Again, Tyrese Halliburton is a perfect example. He got the again. I don't want to explain it because y'all know what I'm gonna say. But the point being is that we at least need a healthy Luca going forward. Not necessarily for these playoffs, but going forward, it would benefit us a lot, and it would help us build around him and Reeves even more. Because Austin Reeves is not going to play at all in the first round. I don't feel like. I don't think he's going to play at all. Yo, this camera's trippy. But Austin Reeves is not going to play at all in the first round. Luca has a better chance of coming back in the middle of the first round than Reeves. But yeah, on the Rocket side of things, I do feel like the Ime Udoka's game plan is going to be simple. He utilizes plan against LeBron James and not LeBron James. He utilized this type of game plan against Kevin Durant when he was the Boston Celtics head coach and Kevin was with the Brooklyn Nets. Blitz KD every time he has the ball, and I don't doubt that Ime Udoka is going to apply that same strategy to LeBron. He's going to be like, "Yo, guys, blitz Braun every time he has the ball. If Marcus Smart or Rui beats us, or what you call it, Luke Kennard beats us, then we did our job. If Da beats us or DeAndre Ayton beats us, we did our job. We cannot let Braun of all people, one of the greatest players in NBA history, be the reason we lose this series." And I feel like that is going to go in that direction. So it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough for me to pick because I'm gonna pick the Lakers because I'm a Laker fan and I'm riding and dying with my Lakers. But if we're just talking pure basketball, I don't blame people for saying they picked the Rockets to win this series in a landslide. And I personally say that if the Lakers were to win this series, it's going to be in seven hard-fought games because it might be a case of do we hold serve on our home court? Because we cannot afford to drop game one. If we get game one, then we are in decent position. If we drop game one, we have to win game two. And if we don't win either of those games, we're gonna go to Houston down 0-2, and that's probably gonna be our season right then and there. But I think the Houston Rockets are also thinking the same thing. They want to upset us in LA to open up the playoffs, which they're more than capable of doing. When I made my video back in December after the Christmas Day game, remember the Rockets absolutely whooped us so bad that JJ Redick absolutely went off in the press conference saying, "Look, we ain't trying to do this for another X amount of games. Like I hate our effort. I hated our effort. Blah 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 blah." So the one thing I could say, bro, is that look, the Lakers need to hold serve because I have no doubt Houston's going to hold serve. You know what I mean? So if I had to pick, I'm going to stick with my fandom. I'm going to go with the Lakers to win in seven. And if this video backfires and I get trolled in the comments, you know what? I deserve it. I'm ready for all the smoke as a Laker fan. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Who wins this series and how many games? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Yeah. That's the end of this video. I'm X. Deuces.